Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Authentically Feminine podcast. My name is Darya, and I am so glad that you are here. Today, we have a really fun episode. We're going to talk about how to inspire an emotional connection in a man, and this is extremely important when you're dating somebody. Before we get into it, I just want to let you know that there's two things actually I want to share. So the first thing is that there's a brand new guide that I have been working on that is finally ready. It's called From Chasing to Chosen. It's a completely free guide, and it's all about spotting the red flags of emotionally unavailable men. And not just any red flags, but the hidden ones, the ones that are not always so obvious. So this is for women who are smart, self-aware. You're doing the work. You know yourself. You know the red flags. You know that it's time to walk away when the man isn't right for you, but you're still ending up in the same situations over and over and over again. You're going to love this guide. So there are hidden signs of emotionally unavailable men. There's also tips to recognize the right man, some green flags, as well as a really powerful way to actually connect with a man that I share with my coaching clients one-on-one. So if you do want to get your hands on this guide, which I'm sure you do, then I'm going to drop the link in the description. You can go there and grab yourself your own copy. I'm so excited for you to read it. Now, the other thing is, tomorrow is June the 5th, and that is actually my husband and I's 6th wedding anniversary. I can't believe it. Can't believe it's been an entire 6 years. If you know my story, I've been on over 100 dates with men. I've been the one chasing. I've been the one running. I've been in several serious relationships, and I never actually saw myself really settling down with any of those people. There was one man who ended up really breaking my heart, and I at one point did think that I was going to marry him, but eventually I ended up leaving that relationship because I just did not feel like he really loved me. And even though I was in love with him, even in that relationship, I didn't really truly feel like he was the one for me, right? Which is why I left eventually. So I went on over 100 dates, and when I finally met my husband, he was the first person that I was like, I am 1000% in. I felt at peace knowing that he was the one for me when I finally met him. And on our wedding day, I had zero regrets, and it was just the best feeling ever. And so this is what I want for you as well, right? When you have that secure relationship and you don't have to feel anxious, you don't have to run, you don't have to constantly worry about where they are, you don't have to be avoiding them, right? You're not running away, you're not chasing. It's just secure, and it just feels good and emotionally safe. This is the type of relationship that you should be aiming to get to. This is why I'm here. I'm here to help you find that, right? So anyways, what I was going to share is that tomorrow is our 6th wedding anniversary. And since we have 2 kids that, it's hard to go out in the evening, it's so hard to make time for date nights, we're actually going to get grandma to come over during the day, and we're going to go out for a day date. And I'm super excited because we don't have that much time these days to do that. And it's going to be nice to just spend some time together. And my rule, this is not usually my rule, but I'm going to make it the rule tomorrow, is no talking about the kids. Because anytime we're together, we're either talking about work or we're talking about kids. So we'll try to just have a good time and just enjoy each other's company. Oh, and the other thing that I wanted to mention is that I have an 8-week group coaching program coming up in just a couple months, and I'm super excited because it's going to be a very small group of women. It's going to be intimate, and it's going to help anybody who's actually serious about transformation, right? Because, it's nice to have the free tips and the Instagram posts and all that stuff, but it's different when you actually have somebody to guide you through the process and to help you figure out what your patterns are and to keep you accountable and walk you through all of the steps that you need to stop attracting emotionally unavailable men and to actually find the love that you deserve. And so this is exactly what we're going to do in the upcoming 8-week group coaching program. I still have a few spots left. If it's something that you're interested in, please send me an email at hello@wealthywonderwoman.com. All you have to do is type ready, or you can DM me on Instagram. and I will reach out to you. We'll book a quick 15-minute call and we will see if we align and if this is going to be a good fit for you. So if you're really ready for change, if you want to be in a different place in 6 months, 8 months, 12 months from now, then now is the perfect opportunity to get in on this group coaching experience. It's going to be so much fun and so deep and connected and just aligned. It's going to be so great. I'm excited. And you're never going to go back to the same patterns after this. So I would really love for you to join if it's something that has been on your heart and you really want to change the experience that you're having with men and you're ready for something real. Reach out to me and let's chat. Okay, so let's get to today's episode. Finally, we are talking about how to inspire an emotional connection in a man, how to get him to open up, how to create a deep connection and have an incredible experience with the right man. And you may have had experiences where you've gone on a date or maybe a few dates and seem to be going great, but then he just disappears out of the blue or he ghosts and you're just left completely confused. You're like, things were going totally fine. I don't understand. Now he disappeared and he's nowhere to be found. Like, why? What happened? Right? So sometimes it is the fact that a man didn't feel an emotional connection. And whereas you can't really convince the wrong man to fall in love with you, there are certain things you can do to increase the chances of really connecting with the right man, right? Because that first impression is so important and you only get one chance to make a first impression. And so there are certain dating skills and tools that you can use to increase the chances of connecting with a man on a deeper level. So the first one is creating a good first impression. So here's the thing. A lot of women, they just want to get to the end goal. They want to see if he matches their checklist. They want to ask him all the important questions right away and see if he qualifies to be their boyfriend or to be a father or to be a husband. They just want to figure out if he's the one. But you can't approach dating in this way because this is a very cold and detached and invulnerable sort of approach. Typically, one of two things happen. Women either try to get to the point, right, to figure out, is he the one? Is he somebody that wants a commitment? Is he potentially, going to make a good boyfriend? Is he somebody that I want to be in a relationship with? Or they're so focused on performing and trying to make sure that he likes them and focused on trying to impress the man, proving themselves. So it's either one of two categories, right? I don't know. Tell me if you've been in either of these situations. I've been both of these women. And it's important to remember that both of these approaches are not going to work because you're focused on the wrong thing and you can't let your guard down. And you have to be able to let your guard down and just relax instead of trying to impress him or worrying about whether he's the one. Both of these approaches are sort of you in survival mode. You're on top of it. You're just trying to figure out whether this guy is the guy that you're going to marry or, oh my goodness, how do I do the right thing, say the right thing so that he likes me? You're not really relaxed and in your feminine energy. You're not just enjoying your time with a man. And if you're not doing that, it's going to be difficult for you to connect with him. And so don't approach it like a job interview and don't worry so much about doing the right thing or being super accommodating because men are going to feel if you're just trying to interview them rather than actually get to know them. Men always sense your energy. And so think of the first date as just a vibe check. The first date should just be you trying to see, do we vibe? Do I enjoy his company? How do I feel when I'm next to him, right? Just check the vibes because people give off certain energy and you're going to feel a certain energy with this guy. That's what you want to focus on the first date. Forget the checklist, forget the trying to make sure that he likes you, right? And sometimes you don't realize you're doing it, but really there's this part of you that's like, I really want to be liked. I really want to ensure that he's into me. So I'm going to do and say the right thing. And really you want the connection to be authentic. So whether or not he really likes you, it's not that important because the right man is going to like you. So that was the first point. Make a good first impression. Creating a great first impression is really about being your authentic self. This is a really big part of it and just feeling the vibes and just seeing how it is that you interact, how it is that you feel when you are next to this man. Do you have things in common? Are there things you can talk about? Worry about that instead of interviewing him or trying to be funny, charismatic, or sexy, or whatever it is. Because remember, in order for a man to fall in love, he needs to connect with your vulnerability. He needs to connect with your heart. And if you're worried about the surface level things, I just want to be funny, I just want to be charismatic, I just want to make sure I look pretty and that my lipstick is perfect. If those are the things that you're worried about, then the man that's going to be into you is going to be attracted to the surface level things. He's not the one that is going to fall in love with you and with your heart, because he won't see that from you. So a man can be attracted to you like on the surface, but he cannot convince himself to fall in love with you. It's not a logical process for a man. He has to feel a certain way with you. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to have all the right answers. You need authenticity and inspiration. Authenticity and inspiration. Those are the things that are going to help you connect with the right man. Your goal should be to inspire connection, not to try to prove your value to him. Okay, the next point is connect with emotion, not logic or facts. So I recently worked with a client, and she is an extremely wealthy woman. She works in politics, and she was married for a long time to a man who was extremely wealthy. Like, he owned a private jet. He was, had everything he wanted, but he was extremely selfish. So he would not spend any money on her. And so anyway, that marriage ended, and now she's out there and she's looking for love. But because she's so used to interacting with men and being in politics, it's a very sort of, there's not much emotion, let's say, involved in politics, right? Is she kind of lost touch with that feminine energy side of her. She lost the ability to really connect with men. And she would tell me that every date that she went on, it literally felt like she was at a business meeting. Like, it felt like she was there was no connection. There was not even like a hint of intimacy or flirt or anything like that. And she would say all the right things. She would ask all the right questions, but she would focus on the facts. What do you do? What do you enjoy? What are your hobbies? What is this? What is that? Right? Oh, really? Okay. Like, it just, it was very, very much logic based. And that's never going to get you deep into a man's heart. She would lead all the conversations. She would make all of the decisions, because she had a lot of masculine energy. This is the part of herself that she was very much connected to. And so what we did together was we helped to bring out the emotional side of her, the vulnerable side of her, when she's on a date with a man. So she can be playful, so she can be flirtatious, so she can, bring some fun and spontaneity. Because this is what men want to see. This is what's going to make them let their guard down as well and connect with you. And here's the thing. Men are often unconsciously looking to women to bring this flirtatious and fun energy, because women are, when we're connected to our feminine energy, we're naturally better at this. And so she went from bringing this matter-of-fact sort of energy to bringing out her flirtatious side and saying things that are a little bit more fun and a little bit more, controversial and playful. And she brought a completely different energy. That is when she was able to start creating romantic connections with men. She took my course, Magnetically Feminine Boundaries, where I have over 100 phrases for how to talk to men, plus a bonus guide for texting tips to really get him hooked and to create that magnetic attraction that's going to make him want more of you. And so she did this course, and she started connecting with men in a totally different way. They started to ask her out more. They stopped ghosting her so much. They started to show much more interest in her. So connection through emotion, not through facts and logic. This is the key to truly connecting with a man and creating the space for a real romantic attraction to take place, to occur. For example, instead of sharing something like, oh, I just got back from Italy, it was a great trip, I really enjoyed it. You can say something like, I just came back from Italy. I absolutely loved it. I was just walking on the cobblestones and eating gelato under the stars. It just felt so magical. I can't wait to go back. It just is a completely different vibe. When you're injecting emotion into what you're saying, it's a completely different way of communicating. Remember that injecting emotion is what opens the door to connection. And this is what men are going to respond to, because men remember how they feel around you. They're not going to remember what you say, but they're going to remember how you make them feel. And so if this is something that you want to get better at, check out my course, Magnetically Feminine Boundaries. I share over 100 phrases, conversation examples that you can use, whether you're trying to stand out on dating apps, whether you just want to connect with a man through meaningful conversation, whether you want to flirt, build connection, or set a boundary. All of that is in there. The next point, always leave room for a man to step up. The more decisions you make and the more proactive you are during the dating process, the more passive the man is going to be. And so when you're doing everything, you're doing a lot of the work and you're making a lot of the decisions and the planning and dating, you're going to attract one of two types of men. You're going to attract the men that are just really passive, that have a lot of feminine energy, and they see that you're doing everything. And so they're going to say, okay, they're going to complement that energy, and they're going to lean back and they're going to do less. And you're going to be frustrated and annoyed, right? Or you're going to attract the men that just don't want to invest that much in you. They don't see your value. They don't see you as somebody who is really worth investing in, but they'll still stick around because you're doing all the work. And they're like, okay, that's great. I don't have to put in that much effort anyways. And you don't want to attract those men either. Those are the red flags. So leave some space, leave some room for a man to make the decision. You don't have to text him back right after your date saying, hey, thanks so much for taking me out. I had such a great time. Give it some space, give it some time. Let him think about you a little bit. Let him be the one to reach out, to think of something clever to say. It doesn't have to be you. He's not going to go anywhere if he's the right person. Don't offer to get, tickets to a show or to do something fun or something creative for your next date. Let him be the one to come up with it. Let him put in a little bit of effort. And he's going to appreciate that you're allowing him to do that at the end of the day. Because men want this. They don't want to be passive in a relationship. They don't want to be the ones who are kind of just sitting back and a woman is there telling them what to do and controlling everything and making all of the decisions. Most men, deep down, they don't want that dynamic. So leave space for him to step up. The silence is where the attraction grows. Next point, be genuinely curious about the man. Your mindset is so important when you're out there dating. Because if you're assuming that he's a jerk or that he's going to hurt you or that he's going to be boring, you are going to come into the date with this assumption and you're going to have a completely different experience than if you were to come into the date with an open mind, with curiosity, with excitement, and from the position of, I am just going to have a good time. I'm going to enjoy this date no matter what. So your mindset is key here. If you expect all the men that you meet to be losers or to be emotionally unavailable or to end up breaking your heart or to end up ghosting you, that is what you're going to experience. We experience whatever we expect to experience. And so, if you go into the date being curious, you're going to have a much better time. This is what I did when I was going on over 100 dates. I wanted to meet my person so badly, and I just pushed myself to go on more and more and more dates. And I got to a point where I was so exhausted. I hated the process. And I was like, you know what? It's time to take a break. And I took a break. And when I started dating again, I made sure that I had a different mindset. And one of the things I reminded myself of was every person you meet knows something that you don't. So even if I go on this date and he's not compatible, I'm going to have a story to tell, or I'm going to have, something new that I have learned. I'm going to have this new experience. And I started enjoying that so much. You're going out, you're meeting new people, you're getting to practice your dating skills, practice flirting, or just practice connecting with a man, or practice staying detached, right? There are so many skills that you get to practice when you're actually dating. Plus, the more men you date, the more you figure out what it is that you want and what you don't want. Get curious about him. Ask him questions. Ask him the magic question. What is important about that to you? Ask him about his dreams. Ask him about his goals, right? Don't come into the date thinking of just, what can I take? What can he give me? Is he the one? Is he going to show me? He's got to prove to me. This is not the approach that is going to attract the right man towards you. It's not going to get the right man to connect with you and to open up to you. Focus on being a good conversationalist, a good listener. Practice your flirting skills, especially with the guys that you're not super attracted to, but the guys that don't make you nervous. This is the perfect time to practice those skills, and you're going to feel so much better about yourself. When you bring the fun and you bring the positive energy and you just assume that he's a good guy until he proves otherwise, you are going to feel much better about yourself. You're going to feel much better about yourself because you're not just wanting to take value from a man. You're not just thinking of, well, what is it that he can give me? You're thinking, how can I contribute to this conversation? How can I bring value to this interaction? And this is another big part of dating, is building your confidence. All of this, the skills and the practice and the way that you show up, all of this is going to contribute to how confident you feel when you're with men. Because even if it's a guy that you're not super attracted to and you're on a date with him, if you just make an effort to just be nice, be nice and really get to know him and be curious, you're going to get a much better response from him. And it's going to make you feel better about yourself because you're going to feel like, you know what, I did the right thing. I went in there with the high value approach. It's like the same thing as if you didn't feel a connection with somebody on a date. You're not going to just disappear and ghost them. You're going to send them a message and say, hey, you know what? Thank you for taking me out, but I just didn't feel the connection, and I wish you all the best. Right? That's the high value approach, and you always want to take that approach. That's all I have for you today. I hope this was helpful, and thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening, and I will see you next time.